time on these. For example, you can go back here and delay this rotation. Don't have it rotating right at the very beginning. We can put another timeline in here, make that 0. So that it stays there during the first motion, the beginning of the first motion. So now when we play it, you notice it stayed there for a little bit, it still wasn't long enough. I guess it's long enough. So it stayed there for a little bit. So you can adjust these. For example, if you want this drop to happen much later, actually the drop started here. So if you want to slow down, you want this drop to happen a little bit later, you simply click on this timeline, keyframe, and move it over a little bit, and that delays when that happens. So this is how you adjust the rotation and the motion across the screen. One thing I want to point out is that if you do decide you want to remove this, it's going to take all the timelines, all the size and position time, keyframes are all gone. So you probably never want to do that. You probably say no. You might want to just remove the rotation by itself. So let's go ahead and add another filter. Let's say rich text. Notice it starts out this size. You click into it, type in your text. This is a test. And we can center that. And we can also put a background cover if you want to do that. Background cover right here. And we'll make it something like this. And the background cover hides everything. So you have to narrow down the background cover window. So there's a rich text format. Now right now, if we look at the keyframes, which is what we're looking at, you see this for the whole video. It's there during the entire video. So you may not want it for the entire video like we've discussed earlier. So we're going to cut it in. Let's say right there. It's doing its usual thing. Anytime it's selected, it stays on the screen, and I think that is a software bug. So we're going to stop it here. We're going to put the tapers on it, taper ins, taper outs. So let's unselect it and watch what it does in the video. So just like it showed, it's not appearing until there. But you notice what happened. That taper didn't work exactly like we thought it would. And that's a problem for me. If I select it, go to the keyframes, I don't want it to zoom from a full size down to this size. So I can't use these in that particular situation. Or I get that silly effect you just saw where it zooms from full screen almost down to this. So by changing that with edges, and also by turning off the stupid view of it, then the rich text will in fact appear when I want it to, and it will disappear when I want it to. So that's how to do those things you saw in the previous videos. This program, I mean, it's great. It's the best thing I've found yet for Linux. It has a few warts here and there, but that's to be expected. And over time, hopefully these little peculiarities will disappear. Like I said earlier, if we add a opacity, and we leave it at the bottom of the list, and we deselect it, and play the video, I didn't set the opacity. So let's set the opacity value, not just have it. So opacity is turned on. We're in the keyframes timeline, and we're going to set the value down here. Now we're going to go ahead and deselect it so it doesn't run all the time and play it. Notice the opacity is working 100% of the time. And it also worked on the text up there. So let's narrow it down. Back to opacity. Let's cut it down so it only works from here to here. Play the whole thing again. Deselect it. Notice opacity is there. Now the opacity took place, and then the test came up in opacity because it happened it was inside. So let's look at that for a second. The opacity is at 2 seconds in, ends at 7 seconds. But the text rich appears later. So let's have the text rich come in before the opacity and after the opacity. So now we'll get different results. I've got to deselect it. So now it comes in, and then it goes to opacity, comes out of opacity, then it's turned off. So that's how that is done. Hopefully this is enough information to make you really understand what's going on with these keyframes. Keyframes, remember, can only be related to a filter. You can't have a keyframe by itself. It's only a filter. You can only look at one keyframe at a time down here in the Keyframes tab if you have something selected. Now the size rotation has 2 keyframe lines. That's because they have 2 separate keyframe choices here. Most of the filters have 1 keyframe choice. So this concludes my videos on keyframes and how to use them.